wherever you're joining us, because we are aware that we are running a webinar, a conversation that has people from all over the globe. And so ours is to wish you a good something. Receive greetings, receive good wishes, receive good feelings from Springboard Capital Limited. Welcome to our Biz Smart series. This is a series of programs that we run in the bid to empower ourselves, in the bid to feed ourselves, in the bid to improve ourselves, because life is about continual improvement. And if we are not able to improve ourselves day by day, hour by hour, second by second, then we are doing ourselves injustice. So welcome to this Biz Smart series. Today we are talking about the entrepreneurship mindset. We have entrepreneurs here with us this afternoon. And just as we have requested, type in the chat where you're from. What are you doing? What's your business about? You never know. This is a networking forum. You don't know who is there and who could be your next partner, your next business executive, your next customer, your next anything. And we are not running a swindler or something. This is a business forum. Let's chat and let's network. And so therefore, please put in the chat where you're from, what your business is, what you want us to buy from you, or what you want us to know, what awareness you want. So let's talk about the entrepreneurship mindset. What is that and why are we talking about it? Because there's many things we can talk about as business people. And the last 2 years have shown us that we need to put systems for sustainability in place. We need to have structures to be able to ride the storm. We need to have people who are able to run with change, adapt to change, and run the business well. We need to risk plan. We need to check ahead and see what's coming and how can we mitigate what's coming, or how can we adapt to what's coming. We need to run our businesses well from a structure perspective. But where does this start and where does this end? Because the most important thing in this whole ecosystem where businesses are concerned is the mindset. Because without the right mindset, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter when and where you do it. Without the right mindset, then you have not even begun. And so this is a critical thing that we must discuss this afternoon, this evening, this night, this morning, whatever time of day it is. And as Springboard, we are serving it hot. You know, on this side of the country, we like hot meals. You know, in some places, people like to eat cold salads and they like to eat cold vegetables and cold meat. Not us, we serve it hot. We dish it hot. We like a hot meal. When you're African, you love it hot. And so we are dishing it hot this afternoon. We want to feed you for 1 hour so that your tummy is full, your mind is full, your system is full of something that you can go and run. And this afternoon, we are privileged, we are honored, we are esteemed to have a great guest with us, Dr. Joe Mogire. Dr. Mogire's story is one of resilience, one of inspiration, one that you think about and at the back of your mind, you think, if he can do it, so can I. What could prevent me from rising to greatness in the footsteps of this gentleman? Dr. Mogire is a medical doctor. It's not a PhD doctor, it's a medical doctor. And it's very rare to find a medical doctor who is a people development person in the same state. He is very well schooled from the universities here locally and universities internationally, Harvard schooled, and is currently a cardiology fellow at the University of Oklahoma. And he's joining us all the way from Oklahoma, where it is 5 a.m. in the morning. You won't believe it. But passionate and central to Job's heart is being able to pass on the baton, being able to inspire the next person, being able to coach and handhold the hand of somebody else that they too may rise and find greatness within them, whether they are an individual, whether it's in business, whether you're in consulting, whether you're starting something. And that is what Job is here to do. And he speaks well, he's a great speaker, he's acclaimed, he has an international award. I could go on and on and on. But let me stop there and invite Dr. Job Mogire to the floor. Please take it away and talk to us about what does it take to shift the scale. Over to you, Joe.
Thank you, Caroline, for the introduction. It's a delight to be here and to meet everyone. And like you said, I'm coming to you from Oklahoma, in Oklahoma City, here in the US. And I know I heard what you said, that you like to serve it hot the other side. I'm living in the land of sandwiches and cold dishes. I miss chapati. I don't know what to say, matoke, so you would know. But I'm very happy to be here. Perhaps I would start off by telling you a little bit about my story. I didn't always sound as I sound today. I had a deep accent where most of my sounds at the end would sound like I'm speaking. And I know you can guess where that's from. I had a deep Kikisi accent and I used to stutter. I never wanted any time to be asked to stand up to speak. Through primary school, I never stood up. In secondary school, for the first time, I was appointed as a prefect, but I was the assistant prefect in that department. So I let the main prefect take all the responsibility of communicating until the gentleman decided to go to another school. And finally, I have to stand up and speak. And I remember those initial moments. I remember when I joined university. I show up to university, Moi University Medical School, and the first day we sit in a big hall. There are 120 of us. You take the microphone and say your name and say which school you come from. Then you can hear, my name is Justus Nondi. I am from Alliance High School. My name is Von Witsonyango. I am from Mangu High School. My name is Davis. I am from Nakuru High School. Then it came to my turn, and I took the microphone with a trembling hand, and I said, my name is Chop Mogire from Kirongorori Secondary Mixed, a school that nobody had ever heard. I started from the village, became a physician, and then I decided it's time for me to become an entrepreneur. And that has been a story that has taught me so much. I decided to become a speaker. And what do you do when you become a speaker? You put up your first event. And so I put up my first event. I registered a Facebook page called Paradigm 2.0. And I put up my first seminar, Transform Your Life Seminar. And I knew that people will pour in and they will come in their numbers. It was on Valley Road in Nairobi at the Nairobi Pentecostal Church. Hall paid for, posters printed, banner ready. I even had a camera crew. People registered, but they registered, many of them without paying in advance. But I knew, come on, people will come and pay. And so I had a hall for 50 people. On the morning of the event, 11 people showed up. 6 of them were my friends. 3 were the camera people. So in other words, for my first seminar, I have 2 clients, one of who didn't have money to pay. So only 1 client paid. I remember her, Maggie. I'm friends with her till today. Sometimes I ask her, what did you see that made you come? But when I look back to that first event I had at Nairobi Pentecostal Church, and the subsequent events I went on to have, when I changed the name of the business to House of Mastery, the mistakes I made along the way. When I reflect, I realize how many opportunities I lost. Not opportunities for the business, but opportunities for me. Because I started off right from the word go, focused on building the business, the speaking business, building a name. And you know what that does? It keeps you externally focused. I believe the biggest risk we face as entrepreneurs is to be externally focused. Here is a reality. that for most of us, the businesses we are doing right now might not be the businesses we will be in 10 years from today. But the people we grow ourselves into will be the people in wherever we end up. Which means anytime we end up imbalanced and focused more externally than internally, we are losing a big opportunity. My first seminar was in 2011. It's only in 2016 that I made the switch. How many years did I lose in between? But most importantly, how many opportunities did I lose that would have grown me no matter what the market did? Look at the market right now. I have just been in the market trying to trade my car and get a new car in this country. And it's impossible to find a high quality car. That means the market has shifted drastically. The market is extremely different. But you know what didn't change? The entrepreneurs that have to grapple with this market. The entrepreneur's mindset cannot be sustainable unless it's anchored with a very clear focus, consistent focus on the inner development. Your development as an entrepreneur is the biggest asset that you have in your journey as an entrepreneur. The development of the people in the business is the most important asset for any business anywhere. I wanted to share with you a couple of pillars, and these sound very obvious. The pillars of your mindset and my mindset. And I want you to look at these 5 pillars and think about internal growth. The first pillar that I will share with you is mastery of meaning. Mastery of meaning. If there is a time when life has had to teach us how to grapple with what things mean to us, it is in this last 2 to 2.5 years. I have been right at the forefront of fighting COVID in this country, medicine. And when COVID broke out, I was a medical resident, which means I was in a training program that required me to be at the hospital Monday to Friday, and frequently over the weekend, and sometimes overnight. I have been at the bedsides of patients at the very end of their lives. And the difference is that during this season, sometimes patients are isolated because the rest of the family cannot be there just because we want to keep infection control. And I have come across some examples of patients who leave an impact in my life forever. I have learned in the last 1 year that nothing means anything except the meaning we give it. Nothing means anything except the meaning we give it. And so when I look back to 2011, I empathize with myself because the meaning I had on that day when my event had only 1 paying customer was mistaken. I saw that day as a failure. I saw myself as a failure that day. I saw the money that I had invested and the people I had paid to come as a waste. I saw just the entire setup as a waste, and yet it was not. I was planting tools. I was proving to myself that I was committed to this vision. I was declaring to the marketplace that here I am ready to learn. But I wasn't ready to learn. When I started learning was much later. The experiences you have had up to today, the customers that ordered products from you but did not pay, the people that promised to partner with you but did not show up, people that promised to fund you but withdrew, people you hoped would say yes but they said no. What meaning do you take from that? because that meaning will make or break you. The entrepreneur's mindset is one of accepting no as feedback rather than no as personal judgment. Mastering the meaning of every experience that you face is a superpower as an entrepreneur. No is going to come. It's not if, it is when. And it's how many times it's going to come. Sometimes you end up succeeding in the place where you faced the most no, but you will not persist long enough if you don't master the meaning of your experiences. And I believe the most important meaning we can derive from any experience is the lesson that is contained in that experience. The second pillar of your mindset is personal responsibility. Personal responsibility. I look back to 2011. It was February, I think 18th or 19th, February 2011. I look back to that day and think how much I started attributing what happened to the market. Like, oh, people are not interested in this topic, or the venue was not good, or the timing was not good. I had all sorts of explanations, none of which empowered me. Had I learned what I came to learn in 2016, to take personal responsibility, and this is something that sounds so cliche that we do not necessarily pay as much attention to it. Here is a challenge to anybody among you who is employed. Personal responsibility means that no matter what the business is doing, no matter what your employer is doing, it becomes your personal responsibility to give the most value where you're employed, because by giving the most value, you are getting the most growth. If you are delivering excellent reports, you're showing up on time, you're following up with clients, and you're taking it as a personal responsibility, absolutely, without a doubt, it will translate to your personal growth. When I learned to take personal growth, I realized that there are going to be many changes around me. At the end of the day, the change that matters the most is the change that happens within me. The meaning that I attribute to my experience is my personal responsibility. The third pillar is a pillar of continuous learning. You and I who have gone through school, went through primary school and high school and college or university within a stipulated time because of one reason. There was a timetable and there was a curriculum. Here is the unfortunate reality that most people learn in 20 years less than they learned in 4 years in college. And by learning, I'm not specifically just speaking about reading books and sitting down. I'm speaking about being intent and writing out your thoughts and reflecting and consistently doing it. There is a reason why the only way we learned to write our names as kids is to take pens and actually write it down. We spend so much of our time in school writing things down, and even the Bible says, write down the vision and make it clear. But once we leave school, unfortunately, most of us lose that art. And you, as an entrepreneur, you are in a personal university, the university of so many hard knocks, a university of turbulence and so many changes. And the only way you're going to keep up is if you keep learning continuously. And this is learning that is going to entail looking at the market with new eyes, generating your own questions and trying to answer those questions. When you read anything you read, you start reading with purpose, because you are reading with the intention of applying this knowledge in your business. This is another pillar that sounds like a cliche, continuous learning. I promise you, without a doubt, in your area of industry, the business you are interested in, if you will just read one 3 to 4 page article every day for 1 year, you will become not only the most informed person among your circle, but you will develop so many ideas, it will be impossible for you to be caught unawares by the marketplace. The fourth pillar is deliberate self-improvement. Connects quite closely with continuous learning, but deliberate self-improvement. And this is one of the areas I am most passionate about. Here is why I believe in personal improvement. When you make it deliberate, it works. Here is why. I met Justin, a guy that I was with in high school. Justin was one of those colleagues of mine that in school never wanted to touch mathematics. In fact, during the mathematics classes, Justin never paid attention at all. After high school, Justin moved to Nairobi, and he was plying the Nairobi Ngong route, working on a matatu. One day, I'm going to visit my cousin in Ngong. I get into the matatu, and it's Justin that is running it, is the tout. And I watched him. He collected people's money, and he kept in mind very clearly in an organized manner whose change he still had. By the time we are getting to Karen, he has given people back all their change. He has counted the money and put it in the pocket. Of course, he did not recognize me at first, but in Ngong, we met and we spoke, and through that influence, Justin eventually went back to college. Went back to university. Justin today is a teacher in a school near Eldoret. The deliberate self-improvement component is what he did when he decided to go back to school. But you see, he didn't falter in school because he didn't have the capability. We don't falter because we don't have capability. We are gifted, we are endowed with way more ability to learn than we actually realize. What plans do you have for your deliberate self-improvement? Improvement in your physical health, improvement in your time management, improvement in your communication skills, improvement in your ability to learn new things. Are you trying to learn a new language? Are you trying to learn a new industry? Are you entering circles that you ordinarily wouldn't enter, joining clubs you ordinarily wouldn't enter? If you're not a member of Toastmasters, I would challenge you to give it a shot. I would probably not be speaking here today were it not for that. And that gave me amazing self-improvement. Self-improvement is an indispensable pillar of the entrepreneur. Here is the reality. The growth of your business is limited by the growth of your own abilities. The entrepreneur's growth is the limiting factor for the business growth. Because let's say you have a business that has the potential to supply products to the whole of East Africa. You have the systems in place, you have the product, you have the market. What do you need? Funding. How do you get funding? Pitch. How do you pitch? Stand in front of people who are in shiny suits, in impeccable boardrooms, and convince them to buy. So what holds you back from getting the money? You have not worked on your skills of communication. And you see, that is why, and that's how your growth as an entrepreneur becomes the limiting factor to the potential of your business. I know you might tell me today that, oh, Job, I don't have a business that needs to be funded. That is your reality today. If you are on the growth pathway, the opportunities are unlimited rather. It will come, but it will come and find that you are not ready, because unlike a pair of shoes that you can change one day, some of these skills, they take time to develop. The fifth pillar of the entrepreneur's mindset is commitment to process. John C. Maxwell says something that I love. He says, don't judge a day by its fruits, judge a day by the seeds sown. And that is process. The mistake I was making in 2011, when I started my speaking career, was measuring my success by the results I was getting. And the reality is, in the entrepreneur's journey, there are many stretches when there are no results to show. No results to show. In fact, you feel discouraged, you start doubting yourself. You wonder, why did I do this to myself? That is the time when you are most likely to give up. That is the time you're most likely to be distracted to a new opportunity. That's the time you're most likely to stop growing and start mark timing. Commitment to process calls you to measure your progress by the actions taken, by the lessons learned, by customers contacted. Whether they respond to you or not is not your responsibility. Your responsibility today is, how many customers did you speak to? How many pitches did you make? How many orders did you deliver? How many ideas have you actually taken time to sit down and think about? How many important pieces of information you need to know have you found out? How much reading have you done in that new area that you're trying to venture into? Commitment to process means that you value your growth today more than your results today. Results are important. The bottom line is extremely important. That profit needs to come. But sometimes that profit doesn't come today. And sometimes you're not ready for that profit. Sometimes we demand from ourselves Olympic performance when we are just ordinary weekend warriors. We've not gone to the gym long enough. That means we have not been in the business long enough. We've not trained long enough. That means we have not learned the lessons and faced the obstacles long enough. Commitment to the process, believing that this is going to work, even if it doesn't work externally. If you have committed yourself to this with all your heart, it's growing you. And if it grows you, that is the biggest and most important victory. Those are the 5 pillars. And I want us to take a quick, if you go to menti.com and enter that code 36830461. Go to menti.com, and you can do that on your phone very quickly. Go to menti.com and enter that code 36830461. In the meantime, I will continue with the next section, then we will review this part. I'm just giving everyone a minute to make sure that you get there. So after having given you these 5 pillars, I want to tie it together. And if I could tell you one thing today, just one thing that I have learned along my journey as an entrepreneur. I'm a professional in terms of being a physician, but I'm passionate about the work I'm committed to doing as an entrepreneur. If there is one thing I have learned that I would share to you, it is this. And I will give it to you as a question. Are you guided by your opportunities or by your vision? If I looked at the last 5 years of your life, what inference would I make? Are you guided by opportunities or by vision? Is your life shaped by the opportunities available to you or by the vision you carry? I grew up in poverty. When you grow up in poverty, you develop a mindset of lack. And therefore, the day you start having access to opportunities, you do not know when to stop embracing new opportunities. And between 2011 and 2016, I wasted so much time because I was open to so many opportunities. If I tell you the number of things I did, you would never believe. I recorded 2 TV series, TV shows that were supposed to be broadcast. I ran for politics to become a member of parliament. I started an insurance agency. I started a clinic. I was open to opportunities, and I was taking opportunities right, left, and center. I did not start farming quail, though. Who knows, maybe I could have. But I marketed for GNLD a little bit. If I could tell you one thing today, that would be the one thing. If your life is shaped by opportunities, it means you have no way of remaining committed to process. No way of remaining committed to process, because opportunities, when they come to a person who has no vision, they become distractions. And no matter how good opportunities are, if you have 4 or 5 of them, you are too distracted to make progress in any one area. Because at the end of the day, all opportunities teach us the same basic lessons. Number 1, commitment. Number 2, discipline. Number 3, the ability to learn by taking feedback, by reflecting on our mistakes. Number 4, the ability to persevere regardless of what obstacles we face, because no matter what opportunity comes your way, it comes with obstacles. Otherwise, it's not worth it, because every opportunity comes to push us to grow. If your life is shaped by opportunities, you live a distracted and often frustrated life. But if your life is shaped by vision, you live a narrow but often focused life. And it's a choice that you have to make. It doesn't mean that when you have a vision, you will not be frustrated. But it means that you know what you will say no to and what you will say yes to. And as an entrepreneur, you run the risk of searching for every possible opportunity because you are an entrepreneur. You want to conquer the market. It will waste your energy, waste your time, waste your resources. You have to be selective about which opportunities you take up so that those opportunities you take up can be explained by the vision you carry. I wanted to share with you these 4 very simple, very straightforward steps for developing your own vision. The first is see the vision. Every time I speak, I show people this file. I've had this file for now, it's going to 7-8 years. I wish I had started this file as far back as when I was in medical school, in university. And one thing that has not changed in my life is the vision that I saw around 2012, 2013. I couldn't articulate it, but eventually I was able to articulate it. You as an entrepreneur has to be guided by a very clear North Star. And your North Star is the vision. Do you have a vision that defines your life? A mindset without a vision is a confused mindset. Because the mindset has to be anchored, and the anchor for your life and my life is vision. A very clear and narrow and specific vision. And this vision has nothing to do with what you will accomplish. It has more to do with who you will become and who you are becoming by pursuing that vision. The second step is to step toward the vision. It sounds very simple, but this is probably the hardest thing that I had to embrace. stepping toward the vision. Once your vision becomes clear, the vision dictates where you will go. It dictates who you will become. It also dictates who you won't become. It dictates who you won't associate with. It dictates where you won't go. When I first really embraced the vision that was manifested to me and it became clear, my circle had to change. That's a very painful process. Letting go of people that you have known almost all your life, but who it becomes very clear that they no longer fit. As entrepreneurs, we have a tendency to cluster around interests, clustering around, oh, we are in the real estate business, or we are in HR business, we are in staffing or recruiting business, we are in the export business. When your vision is clear, you will find yourself guided to cluster around people with similar values rather than similar interests. If you cluster around people with similar interests, you are being controlled by opportunities because the interests you have are externally focused on opportunities. Your growth is controlled and anchored by the people you're surrounded by in terms of what values they hold. I met Caroline Gadhuru in Toastmasters, and Caroline was one of the people who gave me some of the most insightful feedback when I was really, really diving in afresh into the business that I wanted to do, to doing the work that would become such an important part of my life. Caroline is not a physician. Caroline is not a KISI. Caroline is not an STA. There is literally, you would say, there was nothing that I shared with Caroline, but I saw in her leadership, commitment. Of course, she flows with all the charisma, if you know Caroline Gadhuru. You surround yourself by people in whom you find so much value that you may have similar interests peripherally, but the main reason you are surrounded by those people, you are standing with those people, is because of value. You step towards your vision almost literally, and when you step towards your vision, it means you are stepping away from some elements of your life that you have known for so long. Step 3 is to sacrifice for the vision. Stepping away from people and circumstances you're familiar with is one element, but the sacrifice component comes when you have to let go of things that you would love to do, but now can't do, so that you can replace those things with what you need to do to move towards the vision. I believe that there are only 3 resources that we work with. Just 3, no more. 3 resources. And I spell them out as T-E-A. The first one is time. That's an important resource we have, but it's finite. We all have 24 hours a day. Time. The second resource is E, energy. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we do so poorly because we don't even have any energy. We are not exercising well, we are not sleeping well, we are not eating well, but also most importantly, we are not socializing with people that rejuvenate our energy. We are surrounded by people who are more critical than they are more inspirational to us. No matter how much time you have, if you don't have energy, it's a waste. So time, limited amount. Energy, you can generate some energy. But even if you have all the time and all the energy in the world, if you don't have the third resource, it's a waste of time. The third resource is the A, attention. This is a very personal question to you as a person. If you are honest with yourself, in the last 5 years? What quality of attention have you accorded your personal growth and the business, the main business of your life? What's the quality of attention? If you are honest, over the last 5 years, if I took a microscopic examination of your life over the last 5 years and looking at how much time you have accorded in each area, will you find that some of your best attention is going to things that actually don't grow you? Most of us, our best attention is in the morning when your mind is fresh. Might you be finding yourself sleeping so often and finding yourself on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and LinkedIn, and email, which seems like you are doing something, but you're actually not doing anything? The entrepreneur's economy is the economy of attention. It's the quality of attention you bring to the idea you are working on. The quality of attention you bring to the customer you are trying to woo. It's the quality of attention you bring to the marketing trends that you're trying to understand. That is your superpower. And if there is anything that you and I have to protect more than ever, especially in this day and age, it's our attention. COVID taught us that we don't lack time. We were all at home. Okay, I wasn't at home most of the time, but I mean, most of the world was at home. But it doesn't mean that people got healthier and they read more and studied more and started better businesses. Time is not a problem. Energy is a choice. Most of the time, energy is a choice. If you sleep well, eat well, and rest well, take breaks, and exercise, energy, you can generate more energy. But at the end of the day, it's the A, attention. What is the quality of attention you bring to your business? You sacrifice everything. You sacrifice everything you need to sacrifice to create room to pursue the vision. And please remember, this is the vision that is internal. That means what kind of husband are you at home? What kind of wife are you at home? What kind of daughter or son or father are you at home? So that this you carry with you. What kind of friend are you out here? What kind of group member are you out here? So that you sacrifice to make the vision a reality, because if the vision is elevated enough, it will make your life elevated too. The last step, step 4, is seek help for the vision. Seek help for the vision. I know today, without a doubt, that the biggest mistake I made in my life when I started venturing out, the biggest mistake I made was to lead myself by myself. The biggest mistake you will make as an entrepreneur is to try to lead yourself by yourself. You know why? This is a question I want us to answer on the chat. In the responses on Menti. I want you to write, just type, and this is anonymous, nobody knows what you're writing, right? The question is, what is the biggest danger every entrepreneur faces? What's the biggest danger every entrepreneur faces? And just put your answer, just type your answer. I've seen my vision and vision that was from prior. Let's see what comes up. Running out of steam, fear of risking. Keep them coming. I've seen some 2 new ones. Uncertainty. What's the biggest danger? What's the biggest danger? I love them. Fear of change, uncertainty, business. Lack of support from the government. What's the biggest danger? And this is an internal, it doesn't involve anyone else. Lack of passion. Okay, I'll close it in a couple of seconds. What's the biggest danger every entrepreneur faces? I'll close it in 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you for those responses. Here is my view as a response to that question. I hope all of us, you know what we call SWOT: strengths, opportunities, threats. What did I mean? SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The biggest risk and danger every entrepreneur faces is blind spots. Blind spots. Every entrepreneur faces blind spots. The one area where you end up making the most mistakes along the way is in the area of your blind spot. Here is my blind spot. I am an eternal optimist. I believe things are going to glow. Everything is going to work out. I am a pathological optimist, and that has cost me. I underestimate how long it's going to take me to get some things done. I underestimate how far I have to go to get something accomplished. I underestimate how much it's going to cost. I overestimate other people's commitment to working with me or working with me. So here's something you need to know about blind spot. A blind spot is not a weakness that you can know. A blind spot is a blind spot because you are blind in that area. Your area of blind spot is an area where you routinely act in a way that is not aligned with reality. And the only way for you to become aware is for you to get feedback from someone else. So this is why you need a tight, positive circle. You need a mentor. You need coaching. You cannot lead yourself to greatness as an entrepreneur in an environment of uncertainty, because that uncertainty will keep getting to you. Here is the most common, most dangerous blind spot: insecurity. If you are insecure and you're operating in an environment of uncertainty and you're trying to get to greatness, you're already doomed. It's going to take somebody else to hold the rope for you to get there. Getting feedback from your family. Sometimes that feedback comes in a soothing manner. Sometimes it doesn't come in a soothing manner. But at the end of the day, getting the feedback is extremely crucial. You as an entrepreneur, you have to seek help for your vision. So to sum it up, your mindset is the most important ingredient in your journey as an entrepreneur. And for that mindset to be powerful and sustainable, it has to be, first of all, internally focused. It has to be anchored by pillars. And among these pillars, one of the most important ones is mastery of meaning. Every experience has a seed for you to carry and plant for the next season. And it's upon you to search for that seed. And that your mindset has to operate within the realm of your vision, so that your life is not guided by opportunities, but by vision. So that any opportunities you embrace, they have to fit within the vision that you are pursuing for yourself. Finally, you cannot lead yourself by yourself. You need somebody else to help you along the way. I'm going to end it there, and I'm grateful to have shared with you and hand it over back to Caroline.
Oh, Job, I feel like I am in the University of Oklahoma with you, because my mind is full of quotable quotes and tweetable tweets about how I've become Justin the mathematician, because opportunity minus vision equals distraction and frustration. That is a formula right there. So even for me who's not mathematically inclined, I have become Justin this afternoon. You have also told us that it's not about fruits, it's about planting the seed, planting the seeds of internal growth, planting the seeds of internal development, planting those seeds. And that our biggest asset is the attention we give to things that grow us. I'm blown away. I'm amazed. I have notes upon notes upon notes that I just need to go and reflect. Team on this call, this is your personal growth right here. You are already having a great winner's mindset by being in this space at this time. We shall take some questions for Dr. Job Mogire. You can put them on the chat and we can pick them up from there, or you can unmute yourself and keep it brief to a minute or not more than a minute, and we can take questions from there. I will start with one, Job, as we wait for questions from the team.
Yeah.
You know, as Kenyans, we are biashara people.
Yeah.
We are biashara people, Job. I don't know why this afternoon you want me to get out of this thing. Yeah, I'm looking for biashara everywhere. I turn here, I turn there. Opportunities, I jump on them. And this afternoon you were telling me that I need to take a pause on that. Biashara is in my DNA, Job. Talk to me.
So the reality is that sometimes we overestimate how much things are going to mean to us when they are fulfilled. And we get there and wonder what happened. So the reality is if you cannot celebrate the small step you are taking right now, when the big step comes, you will be so focused on the next step that you will miss it. I believe in celebrating the small milestones. Sometimes at the end of the year, you just celebrate that you are in the business throughout the year, even if there is nothing else to celebrate. So celebrating this quarter, whether there's profit or not, that does not require you to have 10 opportunities to do it. It doesn't require you to have a big opportunity to do it. You do it in the big opportunity. You are planting the mindset of gratitude with the small, so that whatever you are given, it will be all the same. Because if you are the entrepreneur that is likely to run a company that supplies products all the way through East Africa to sub-Saharan Southern Africa, right? You're not going to feel any happier when you have $1 billion in your account than you do when you have $100,000. And I'm telling you, these are having dealt with billionaires at the end of their life. They tell you it reaches a point when the money no longer matters, right? It's your challenge and my challenge is for us to be present, to enjoy this moment, and to focus, to make sure that we are not missing out on personal growth at the expense of running towards the finish line.
All right. Internalizing that, Job. We have two questions we shall take, and then we call it an afternoon. How does one incorporate personal development goals into the business goals? And how does a business idea become a reality when you don't have capital? Can your idea become a reality? So business goals versus personal, and is it possible to put up a business without capital? Over to you.
This is an area that every time I speak about, it sort of almost triggers arguments. Here's my belief, and this is probably because of the mistakes I made earlier. We make the mistake of starting business, right? Drawing a vision for a business without a personal vision. So it's like going into a marriage when you don't know yourself, but you are getting into the marriage, you're committed to the marriage. You don't know who you are taking into the marriage. That's exactly the same thing. You don't know who you're taking into the business. If you don't know your own values, if you're not clear about your own vision, if you're not clear about your own standards, what are you carrying into the business? So it starts with personal vision, clear personal vision, clear personal goals, and then the business follows. I think I've shared this with you, Caro, that when I started the House of Mastery in 2017, that was within 1.5 years, I was given a big offer by a law firm, a big law firm. And this was going to be in millions to do their training and train a couple of their staff on public speaking. Except the two gentlemen who sat me down to give me the offer, they asked me to quote 50% extra from what the value I was supposed to be given. And this was going to be in millions, to quote 50% extra. And that was going to be money that goes back to them. But by then I knew and I had made my mind that I'm not going that route. I'm not going that direction. So it was very easy for me to say no. And none of my friends around me took it. They're like, we understand what you're saying, but look at the money you're talking about, right? It's at the end of the day, it's who you are. I don't even know how to really tell you, but we get so convinced about opportunities, but the cost of those opportunities is so high. Some things we pursue, it costs us so much that at the end of the day, you wonder, is this all that I was struggling for? So I believe your personal vision is the most important thing. And that connects to the second question, that how do you make a business a reality without capital? The truth about most businesses is that if you are solving a problem that you are passionate about, you can start small and you will grow. If you don't have a real problem that you are solving, if you don't have authentic passion about the problem you're trying to tackle, extra capital won't make any difference. If you don't have a clear vision around the idea you're presenting, extra capital actually won't make a difference. That's why you have so many businesses that people put in millions of shillings and dollars, and the money goes to the drain. It starts inside. It starts with that clarity, and perhaps this is a question that takes much longer for. I would want to know the person who asked this question, like what are the area they looking at? What idea do they have? Why do they care about that idea? And I will show them that for the next 2 years, they will have grown so much, even without a lot of money, by just being committed to learning and starting to solve one person's problem, the second person's problem, the third person's problems. Problems are already waiting for us to solve them. It's, do we have the passion and the clarity to solve those problems?
I just can't believe that the hour is over. We started at 1:05. It is 2:05. I don't know what time it is in Oklahoma. Maybe it's 6:05 in the morning. And we are so full. Our cup is full. Yes. I think we need to ask you to come back. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface. Because I ask myself, if my biggest superpower, as you've told me right now, is to understand my blind spots, I am so tempted to ask you, how do I do that? And that's yet another seminar. And I think you just must come back. If my superpower is understanding that I'm congregating with people with whom I have similar values and not similar interests, I want to ask you, how do I do that? But that's yet another seminar. And so we must invite you back to speak to us again. It's been absolutely brilliant. And in Kenyan format, I will ask, may we have this presentation? We love notes. People are asking on-site chat, may we have this presentation, Joe?
Yeah, sure.
I will send it to us.
Yes, yes.
All right. Dear ones, you are here this afternoon, learning, growing, feeding yourselves, listening, understanding just the things that Dr. Mogire has told us we need to do. Let's keep doing this. We do this once a month, at the end of every month, the last Friday of the month, and this is how we do it. And when you want to grow your business, we are here at Springboard Capital. We care. We are not the microfinance that throws money at you. We want you to have a vision, is why we are having conversations such as this, so that we are empowering your vision and feeding your vision and capitalizing your vision and not just your business. So please come to us and engage with us. Job, what is your parting shot as we let go after you've served us a very hot dish of chapati this afternoon? Job?
My parting shot is to encourage everyone who came here, watch the most important things you learned here today. If you picked anything, I want you to commit to talk to 2 people about them. Tell them as though you're the one teaching them. That will help some of those ideas that you had settle into you. And number two, do something about one specific idea that you picked from here today. And I can't wait to hear your feedback about what you learned. And finally, please eat one chapati for me. I miss chapati.
I think I will run with that last one. I will most definitely have chapati on your behalf, Dr. Job, this afternoon. Thank you so much. We can't even begin to say how grateful we are for you sharing your nuggets with us this afternoon. May you be blessed. May the work of your hands be blessed. May your vision continue to be empowered as you empower others. May those that listen to you get transformed by the words that come out of your mouth. And may God just continue to use you as a source and an instrument of change in this world. Thank you very much for that. Thank you everybody for coming and for joining. Please get in touch with us. Let's do this together and let's make the world a better place. So bye-bye everybody. Have a beautiful afternoon, morning, evening ahead. And let's do this again next month. Bye-bye from us at Springfield Capital.